Hello, my name is David O'Brien. And I'm here for your success in the areas of purity. Hello, welcome back to the Purity Forum broadcast. My name is David O'Brien. Today's topic is healing sexuality. The subtopic, you will recover. Now, I'm speaking only to some people now, but everyone can feel free to listen if you're listening respectfully, of course, and with compassion and care for people. If you are a bull in a china shop and you like exerting your own strength and religious strength perhaps, or supposedly moral superiority of police, like you're the moral police, if you like exerting that kind of strength, bull in a china shop, exit, leave. You're not welcome here. Do not stay in this broadcast. Bye. And please no comments. Okay? So love you, but go. All right. Now, if you are one who your sexuality is fragile, meaning you're in a bit of a marsh. You're walking the line. You're walking in an environment. And you're walking the danger line. And that always pretty much includes either the media, electronic media, modern media, and or people. You're getting around the wrong people who make light of the abuse of sexuality, meaning jumping into things too quickly. Before marriage. God created marriage. He created it for a reason. Marriage is a wonderful thing when done right. Wonderful. But if you're around people who you know it's not the direction to go, you know it's a bit shaky, you know it's like a marsh, and you didn't fall directly into the sludge, but you're walking on, your steps aren't solid. You should listen to this also, because you need to know that there's a cliff that you can suddenly tumble off of if you go the route of mainstream United States, unfortunately, as far as the media, just the entertainment, and I'm not here to blame them or anybody else. Often I won't even get into that. I'll just tell you this, that there is a cliff that if you're not careful, if you don't turn back, change your environment, your friends, your people you're around, the messaging you're allowing into your brain to focus on what God has prepared for you and people through you. You have a plan, a calling, a mission, and it is pure. In other words, you can walk it without the distractions, the environments of temptation and going off the cliff, okay? So you don't have to get your head caught in the thicket. You don't have to mentally go off the cliff, meaning you don't have to get into what really is a drug and an addiction, and that's pornography or the like. It's not just the so-called pornography. It's just abusing sexuality and using video, and it's an evil thing. So you don't have to go there either. You must depart from those two things. Like I said, those are environments that are shaky, they're dangerous, and they turn into a cliff. And that is the wrong kind of flirtatious relationship. That's just getting too fast, too far, too fast, a little too much giggling and joking and touching. And then the next thing you know, don't go there. You need to set up boundaries between you and other people, certain types of people especially. Raise up higher boundaries around certain types of people. And you need to be the one who doesn't need to be the spotlight of attention. You don't need to be in the everywhere and all that stuff. So that's another kind of person I would like to continue watching today's broadcast. Now, if you have full on taken the drug of abusive sex, in other words, illicit sex, in other words, sex with people you're not in a covenant with. Marriage is a covenant. It means to the death, not really the death, but for life, for eternity. You're together. So you give each other, you give yourself to the other person, and then that opens the door for the sexuality part only. It's not allowed before that. Not when you're engaged, not when you're just like the person, or boyfriend, girlfriend, supposedly. Where do these terms came? They're not the path that God created. God's path works for people because he loves people. So that's why I'm here as the freedom and purity doctor, to teach you a few things that you probably aren't even hearing elsewhere or very many places. And so God has a plan for you. And it is basically, if you went the route of taking sex, or the abuse of sex as I call it, as a drug, and you just put it into your system, you just let whoever use you, or you really went after to use whoever would let you use them, then you've been infected. But here's the good news. That enemy will fall if you follow what I'm going to share with you. So it's available completely to walk totally free from that stuff, not to have a chain around your neck, not to, because some people have. At any rate, you can walk a new path. You can have a new start completely. You can be healed of the abuse of sexuality. Totally. And that's why I said healing sexuality, you will recover, because the life, the truth that can go into your system now, the Lord Jesus, he gives glory for shame. He died on the cross. It was a cross that he died on. He was executed. But it wasn't an execution that was involuntary. He voluntarily put himself there. He chose to go into what looked like a trap. He died there to take the shame of abuse of sexuality onto himself. That's why he was naked on the cross, totally naked. He was taking the shame so that anyone who comes into him, into Christ, believes in Jesus, submits to him as Lord, gets a place inside of Christ, a high, good standing, and is washed permanently clean on the inside. Your spirit is totally clean and new, totally new, and it's shining and beaming. And that's the real you. And then you can speak it out of your mouth, the truth in line with that. And it cleanses, it breaks the enemy and the problems I'm talking about away from you powerfully. So you have to get to know them. That's where you can read the New Testament of the Bible, especially the writings of Paul, of course, Peter, others too, but the whole thing. But go ahead and read them and learn about the new you, the real you. And that it'll start to shine out of you. Because once you've asked for forgiveness from God with Jesus, you are forgiven. You're mended with your relationship with him. And then you change your thinking. You say, and you just turn away from it. That will fix and free and mend your relationship with other people, no matter how long the process goes. And your mind will heal, and you can start walking on that original path, but now with the understanding in your belt that you know not to turn to the left or right.